What did you guys do for the summer solstice? I made flower crowns with my daughters, and then we danced all night. We did not light a fire because it was just too warm, and their bedtimes are pretty early, so we were not going to wait until it cooled down to start the dance party. But we sang the Swedish midsummer song, The Small Frog. Is that what the song's called? I don't know. But we sang it in Swedish, and that really helped. I'm going to have to do more songs in Swedish for them. I didn't realize how much they love singing and how much that helps them learn. So we're going to keep doing songs in the future unrelated to midsummer. But I think the traditional thing that people do in Sweden is that you wear your flower crown all night, and then you sleep on it like under your pillow, and you're supposed to dream of your soulmate, and then that's how you know who your soulmate is and whatever. But my girls are too young, and we're not doing that, and life isn't about that. And so we dance around all night, and whoever's crown lasts through the whole night of dancing, which is always everybody's. I try to make sure I don't leave anybody out, and I do a good job braiding everybody's crown. They're not quite at the point where they can make their own, but I'm hoping next year. Anywho, whoever's crown lasts through the whole night gets, this aloe is super sticky, gets to have it hung up in the house for protection for the year. And I think that's lovely. We do the 7 different types of flower, only 7 different kinds. Obviously, you need more than 7 flowers to make a flower crown, but we just stick to the 7 types, which is the traditional flower crown under the pillow ritual, if you will. And we do all the dancing and stuff, and we welcome. I think I got all the meat out of this one. It's just stick left. The traditional dancing and song and stuff, and it was lovely, and we had lovely food, and definitely not traditional food. I made tacos, so whatever. At least they had food that I know that they would eat. You're welcome for that image. Anyway, my neighbor hurt herself, and so I'm bringing this over to help. I wanted to get a good calendula salve for the wound, and so I'm putting aloe. I was thinking honey, but aloe is going to be much better. So that's what we're doing. And then, oh my gosh, the sounds this is making, can you hear that? Whoa. Make sure if you're using aloe that you do a good job draining out the latex first. The first stuff that kind of drips out of the cut, I'm not going to put that in there. You see how that's kind of a different color? I guess you can't. There's really not much left. I did a good job draining it. But when you cut it, it kind of drips out right there. So I'm not going to use that piece just in case. It's latex. So there's nothing wrong with putting latex on your skin unless you have a latex allergy. But if you're making any sort of drink or you're eating your aloe, don't eat that, please. You will make yourself sick. You don't have to call poison control or anything depending on how much you get in your tummy, but you will have a rough night on the porcelain throne. So be careful with what you're eating of the aloe plant. Just set it in a jar upright so the cut can drain out, and then you should be good to go to use it however you like. So I've got this calendula salve for the open wound. And then for the general swelling, I'm going to be using a turmeric blend and some coconut oil. And I would have used aloe for both, but I just don't have that much aloe at the moment. So it would be better if this calendula was dried and powdered, and then it would last a long time. They could keep this salve forever. But because it's a fresh flower in here, they're going to have to, I don't know, get rid of it in about a week. So yeah, that's what I'm doing for my midsummer. I'm going to be working on Oh, did you hear that? That like squish? I feel like macaroni in a pot. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing for my weekend. I really couldn't think of anything better to do. I'm so happy to help. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Maybe not exactly this part, but you know what I mean. So yeah, check out my website, pacedandperfect.com, if you want to check out some holistic, awesome things. I gotta go wash up. And this is going to sit together. They're going to have to get a new one in a week from me. And that's okay. Hopefully things are healed up enough by then and feeling better. They may not need one. But I've got plenty of calendula. And I think my aloe plant can totally handle it. It's ginormous. And I got a couple of pups as well. But for now, I think that this is totally going to work. And I want to save some extra leaves in case they do need it longer. But again, a week is as long as I would keep this because the fresh flowers, anything fresh, you know, like stuff in your fridge after a week, you're kind of looking at it a little differently. So that's how I feel about anything I use with like fresh ingredients, even salves and stuff. I have a cinnamon honey scrub coming out soon. I just had to troubleshoot a little bit on the crystallization because I've been using really good quality honey. And so I've been whipping the honey instead. And once you get enough like air molecules, get enough oxygen in there and it whips itself, it shouldn't crystallize anymore. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm right about that and leaving it for a second before I get it up on the website. But same thing about that. It's totally good because it's dried, but once you're like dipping your fingers into it, I just try to be a little extra careful. So this will be going on their swollen foot, and that's fine because they're not putting it back on their face, but I just personally like to be a little extra careful. And so even with dried stuff that you would be putting on your face, like the cinnamon scrub for acne, you're putting your little dirty, grubby fingers, and who knows what's underneath your fingernail, and then on your face, and then back in there, and then on your face again. So I like to be a little careful, and I do smaller sizes that tend to last about a week, and then you can just keep getting more. Now, they are pretty big, the cinnamon scrubs, and so when I say it lasts a week, it really is like if you're using it on your face, your neck, your chest. You can use it anywhere that you get acne, your back. I use a scrub where I have cellulite because it helps with the circulation and getting rid of that. So I use a lot of it continuously over the week, basically my whole body scrub. And it lasts a week. So you do you. It's not going to go bad, but it'll be up there soon. Let me know if you guys are interested in having anything else up there. I'm thinking about putting some foot baths up there or some salt baths in general. I have a lot of lavender and chamomile growing in the garden, so I'm going to tie some of that up when it's not raining and cut it down and then get that drying. So I think that that would be really lovely for a relaxing bath. You guys let me know, what do you guys like? And please check out my website. But this is what I'm doing for midsummer. Leave in the comments what you're doing for midsummer and how you're spending your weekend. And please support me and my small business. And I love you. Okay, bye.